Well, hello there. I'm sure you're watching this if you're returning and you're like, ma'am, you're late. You're about 2 weeks late. And I know I am. The truth is, I really wasn't going to film this month. I am in a very transitional, liminal space. I'm allowing myself to be an artist and a sacred artist at that, somebody who really honors her sacred transitions. And I really was going to give myself the space to not create any of the usual things that I create. But because so many of you kindly asked, where are the energy readings? Are you going to do a reading for the month? I was like, you know what? Let's do a reading for the rest of August into the beginning of September. And so this is what this is going to be. A reading of the energy that we are experiencing already, sort of like making sense of what we're experiencing already. What are the cosmos? What are our spirit guides, our benevolent ancestors, our angels, all our celestial guides trying to share with us? And what do we need to know into as we journey into the rest of August? If you are meeting me for the first time, hello, my name is Melanie Santos. I am a multidisciplinary artist who focuses on communicating and educating on the mind-body-spirit connection. I am a Kundalini yoga teacher, a transformational experience holder, meditation teacher, all the things, and I'm really focused on teaching and guiding us on how to honor our nuances, recalibrate, and sustain ourselves in mind, body, and spirit as we navigate living a human experience on earth and doing that to the best of our ability while wrapping in healing and pleasure and the work. And that's what we're here for. Let's light this incense. Some Nagchampa, classic. And then we'll start our reading. I will say I'm super happy to have you here if you are watching. Some of you may be watching this and may be excited because I'm showing my face. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably already know that I have left Instagram, possibly for good. And it's a big step. And I want that to act as sort of like, I don't know what the word that I'm thinking of is, but like that's what the times are like right now. This is what the moment is like right now. Really being able to nurture the hits that we get through our intuition, nurture the assignments that we receive, even if they're humanly uncomfortable. I'm not going to tell you that I'm making all these moves either in front or behind the scenes and they're comfortable for me. It's hard to leave these spaces and relationships and connections that you and we have nurtured for a certain amount of time. I've been on Instagram and creating art and content that speaks to my mission for over 10 years, almost 11 years now. And it definitely was both an easy and difficult decision to make. And so allow that to be sort of a testament of like, again, what the times are like right now. Let's talk about the energy of August, the rest of August and the beginning of September, and what we should be really focusing on. Right now, we are still in Leo season until August 22nd, and then we're shifting into Virgo season. So this should be, for all of us, a season where we are really paying attention to the self, a season where we are receiving information, visions, intuitive hits, clarity, or at least seeking this information when it comes to ourselves and when it comes to balancing the ego and the soul. What do we want from what do we need? From where is our soul taking us? Leo is a fixed energy. It is ruled by the sun. And so we cannot ignore it. I did get some guidance before I sat down to record this reading from my guides. I always like to ask them, like, is there any information that I really need to deliver during this reading that I don't want to not give my community and not give my audience? And they said that it's really important for all of us to be willing to turn the page on our life. And I very clearly got a vision of like just a huge page turning on our lives. And there are some of you who are trying to hold that page up and trying to flip it back over because you're not comfortable with the changes that are being asked of you. And that's guidance that we've received month after month since February when these readings started on my channel. Just inching us closer and closer and closer to this transitionary period, transitional period. Like, this is the season of, as my daughter flushes the toilet, and I hope we cannot hear this on camera. All of these readings that I've been offering on this channel, these energy readings, have been inching us closer and closer to this transitional period. This is the season of, almost like the season right before the phoenix, or the season right as the phoenix is deciding to light itself on fire. If you didn't know, yes, the phoenix doesn't just engulf in flames, it decides to light itself on fire and then turn into ashes, to then be reborn from its own ashes. You and we all, in many different ways, are being asked to make the decision. Make the decision. And many of us are being offered like all of the tools, all of the resources, like here, being offered it on a silver platter, and we're still choosing to turn the other way. And so this is a season of truly, truly, truly paying attention to the self, our ego, our soul, our spirit, really rebalancing, really recalibrating, and I was going to say making sense of, not making sense of, being okay with not making sense of the next assignment that we're being offered right now. If my memory serves me correctly, we got guidance on the heart in our last reading. And it's crazy because Leo does rule the heart. And so as you open up your heart, imagine and picture, especially as we're still in this season of Lionsgate up until August 16th, what do you want your next 6 months to look like? Who do you want to be? What do you want your life to look like, smell like, taste like 6 months from now? If you haven't already, please check out the meditation that looks like this on my channel. And I'll leave a link in the description box as well. That's going to guide you through an incredible meditative journey on creating what heaven looks like for you. What would heaven look like for you in 6 months? What does it look like, taste like, smell like, sound like, feel like? All of this is really important because we are stepping into Virgo season around August 22nd, which is really important because we're going from this fire season of, again, recalibrating, burning ourselves, and being reborn, willing to be reborn from our ashes, into this more earthly season, an organizing season, a season where we take ourselves from our ashes. We either are reborn, or like we exist in this life, in our new life, in our life as reborn versions of ourselves. And we say, okay, now what do I do with this? What do I do with myself? Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury, which is in retrograde right now, but it is the planet of communication, how we express ourselves, not just verbally, but also energetically, how we reason. It's all just super important components, and just gives us proof of like how the cosmos are conspiring in our favor. Astrology, when we think about it, should be not thinking about it as this is me, this is who I am, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, which is how unfortunately a lot of people look at astrology. But astrology gives us a map, not just for ourselves and our lives, but for the entire year. And if we wanted to, we can choose to flow through these seasons bit by bit, week by week, paying attention to our favorite astrologers. I am not an astrologer. I'm just an energy teacher, and I'm very, very interested in teaching in this way. But paying attention to astrologers, paying attention to cosmic forecasts, paying attention to our birth chart and how they interact and intersect with the energies of the now, doing readings, receiving readings from experts like myself, doing the work in this way with the energies of the universe is how we can get to, or through, these seasons of our life in a much more harmonious way. And so I share that because that's what Virgo is all about. It's practical, it's loyal, it's organized. Virgo energy is willing to take what it's learned from Leo season and put it into our calendars, right? We learn so much about ourselves, but we should be learning so much about ourselves in this season right now, so that when we get to Virgo season at the end of August and through September, we're willing to take what we've learned and put it into actionable steps. This is how we manifest the life that we want. We don't just do these rituals and sit down and just like wait for something to happen. We make things happen, and we use the energy of these seasons to help us push our own energy along, to help us create the energy that we want to see, feel, taste, hear, all of the above in our life. There are lots of other cosmic movements happening right now that I won't get into. Lots of things happening with Mercury retrograde, which we should be really cautious of. Like, just double check your work, make sure to plan ahead. There's a lot of like traffic that we need to plan for, not just like car and train and transportation traffic, but also just energetic traffic in our own lives that we need to plan ahead for and make sure that we're showing up earlier, that we are double, triple checking our work, our expression, our texts, our emails, all the things. There are things going on with Saturn, whose grandfather time, this energy of restriction that's not just meant to restrict us, but also meant to teach us about ourselves in restriction, meant to hold us in a boundary so that we can sort of snap back and like a slingshot propel into where we're supposed to be. There's lots of stuff going on with Uranus, the planet of awakening. Please follow your favorite astrologers. Pay attention to what they're saying. Astrology is very real. It is so helpful, such a helpful map and blueprint. To me, there is no reason why we should ever feel completely lost in our lives. To feel lost, yes, sure. You can say that I'm in a season of my life where I'm sort of in a way lost, but I know where I am. I know exactly where I am. I'm in this beautiful boundary of the universe. I'm kind of just floating about and open to receiving my next assignment, but I know exactly what I'm doing and why. And it's because I pay attention and I flow with the seasons and flow with the cosmos. Shameless, very shameless plug, because it's an amazing class that has helped so many. I have a class, a master class called Flowing with the Cosmos, that's available on my website right now. If you use the code YouTube, you will receive 20% off of your purchase of the class, but it really teaches you how to flow with the cosmos, how to use the energy of the planets and use the energy of the universe to flow in your life, to really live your life with more harmony. Enjoy that. All right, now let's get into the reading. We're going to start off with the Goddess Guidance Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue. As always, all the decks that I use in this reading are going to be linked in the description box for you to purchase for your own practice. But let's see what our guides, what the celestial guides, what the cosmos want to share with us for the rest of August and for the beginning of September, until we process our next reading and receive our next assignment and our next information for next month. What do our community, our open community on YouTube, need to know about the energy of now? What do we need to know for the rest of August? Okay. First card we got is the goddess Rhiannon, Sorceress. You are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. So a lot of what we just spoke about right now. Sorceress. Reminding ourselves, reminding us that we are the magician. We are the magician. We truly hold the power. There are so many people who are watching this reading right now, who are waiting for the tools, waiting for the yes. When the universe is kind of just like, we're waiting for you to say yes. We already said yes. We got you. That are just like waiting for you to jump, and all the celestial guides, the universe, all time, space, and dimension is kind of just like holding its arms out for you, its proverbial arms out for you, waiting for you to fall. It's okay to fall. Listen, take my word for it. There are a lot of videos that I'm going to create moving forward that are a lot more focused on my life and showing my work, which I'm very excited to create, sort of talking about this season of pivoting for me. So allow me to tell you with much big sister energy that it's okay to fall. It's okay to make a shift. It's okay to make a change. It's okay to start something new. It's okay to be seen trying, because you are a fucking magician, dude. You're a fucking sorceress. You are a magician. You are a sorceress. You were born to be in this moment. We all incarnated into this moment to be exactly who we are right now. And even if you're in a season where you're like, there's no way that I incarnated into this life to feel the way that I do right now, it's okay, because even the worst seasons of our life serve the best seasons of our life. Even the worst seasons of our life serve the best seasons of our life. You'll be able to, when you're finally in a period of like, where you can breathe and exhale, look back at the past and be like, oh my God, I get it now. I get it now. There's no way that I would be able to experience this much peace if I wouldn't have been robbed of my peace back then. There's no way that I would be able to understand and truly nurture the harmony in my life, the riches, the true wealth, the abundance that I'm experiencing right now, if I didn't experience the opposite back then. And so maybe you're here, you're going to be here, I promise you, but you have to say yes. You have to say yes to yourself. You have to say yes to the wisdom of your mind, body, and spirit. You have to honor the wisdom of your mind, body, and spirit. There's so much that is passing through all of us right now. Some of us are more attuned to these energies than others. Some of us are more willing to say yes to those energies than others. Some of us are more willing to sacrifice, to make sacrifices and pivot and make decisions that are humanly uncomfortable than others. And so we're all moving at different speeds. And so please don't compare yourself to other people, because what's happening in Fulanita's life may not be happening in your life, and that's okay. Because Fulanita may have said yes faster than you, and she may be making sacrifices, more sacrifices than you're willing to make right now, or that you can make right now, and that is okay too. There's a lot of just like be okay with where you are so you can move forward. A lot of like acceptance energy. The card says you are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. You cannot manifest clear intentions into reality without having clear intentions. And you cannot have clear intentions without acceptance. I've spoken about this so much throughout the years. From when I first started to talk about manifestation in 2017, I think. 2016, 2017. Where I stated, and when I used to talk about, in order to manifest your next steps and your next assignment in this life that you want, your best life, right? You have to be okay and truly accept the life and the version of you that you are now. Because there's information here. All the parts of your life that you are living in right now serve as information. There's information in your disharmonies. There's information in the beauty. There's information in the harmony. There's information. So take the information in your life. Make sure that you're recording it somehow, journaling or meditating, and or video recording yourself, voice noting where you are, setting your goals that way. This is very, 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 very important right now. And really feels like the only way that we're going to get ahead. There's no hacks. I'm off of all social media right now, which feels amazing. But I always get videos and content from other healers and other intuitives and guides and stuff. And some of them are, here's a hack. Here's a code for how you can manifest it. But you can't do it without the work. And I guarantee you, if let's say somebody does use a hack, a code, or whatever the hell these people are promoting, I don't even watch the video long enough to find out. But if there is somebody who does manifest change in lifestyle, or like climbing the ladder, or whatever the hell, I don't talk like this, so I don't even have the language for it. That comes with responsibility. It's inevitably going to come with responsibility. Life is always going to confront you. And so, please, 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 please ask yourself how you have been saying no to yourself. How and why are you saying no to yourself? Because this is a season of saying yes. This is a season of saying yes, and to really honoring the ways that you are a sorceress, a magician, an alchemist. I'm wearing my alchemist necklace that one of my besties handmade for me for my birthday. An alchemist, an energy alchemist. Side note, my energy alchemist program for highly sensitive people is coming back around very soon. But this is a time of reminding ourselves, of really remembering and grounding and rooting in the ways that we are alchemists, magicians, sorcerers, able to change our disharmonies into harmony by just listening intentionally to what's happening in our mind, body, and spirit. If there's something that's uncomfortable, change it. You have the power to change it. There's so many of you who are like already, as you're watching this, I hear you. I literally hear all the excuses. Oh, well, I don't have the time. Oh, well, I don't have the money. If I just had this, I can make this happen. Trust me, I have those moments too, and I have to snap myself out of it. And what's most beautiful about sitting before you as I do this reading right now is that in this season of my life, I'm truly recognizing more than ever, because I've been in these seasons before. Remember, life is a ladder. It just goes up. We feel like we're in the same period, in the same point of our life, but we're higher. I've been in these seasons before, but I'm truly experiencing the pleasure and beauty of it now, where the more that you surrender, the more that you let go, the more that you close past doorways or doors, close the windows, shut the windows, close the door and leave, and you go outside, the more the next doors will appear and open for you. The more that you let go, the more that you have. I think that's a Ram Dass quote. But the more that you let go, the more that you surrender, the more that you have. And to the human mind, that doesn't make sense and is not supposed to. That's subtle thinking. That's subtle thinking. That's true spiritual thinking. The more that you surrender, the more that you let go, the more that you will have. Allow me to be a testament of that right now. Trust me when I tell you I'm living it. The more that you surrender, the more that you let go, the more that you will have. Please remember that you are an alchemist. You are a magician. Take the pieces that you're dealt and just say, Spirit, show me the way. I don't know what the fuck to do with this, but you're going to show me and I trust you. That trust is going to take you so far. Whew. Starting off strong. Let's go into the next deck with the Work Your Light Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. And let's see what is our next message for the rest of August, beginning of September 2024. Okay, we had a card hop out of the deck. And it is, oh my God, the card Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Look at this image. Just picture yourself being this person in the center. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? And I know many of you are looking at this card and thinking all these arms are other people. I want you to imagine those arms are yourself, because that's the first message I'm receiving. Is less about, yes, some of you absolutely need to set better boundaries with family members, especially friends, work, so that you can have the time to be the phoenix, right? So that you can have the time to witness yourself and be the sorceress, the magician, the sorcerer, the wizard in your life, the alchemist. But a lot of you need to set better boundaries with yourself. Most importantly, what's coming up now is subconscious work, and being able to do the subconscious work that allows us to set better boundaries with those parts of ourselves that don't need to have more control. There are parts of us that are important that we should nurture in their own space and time, but that have too much control of our mind, have way too much control of our body. And when they have too much control of the body, it's showing up as illness, lots of sleeplessness. I'm feeling gut issues right now. Nothing to do with me, but I'm feeling it with this reading. Lots of just anxiety and worry, and it's all based on subconscious stuff, subconscious fears, subconscious trauma that lives in our subconscious realm in our brain. This is a time to get a handle on that, get a grasp on that, because what they are expressing and communicating within is taking up too much space and not allowing your soul and your spirit to communicate your truth for you. And so there are many ways. Let's get practical, right? Let's step into this Virgo energy as the sirens start. We already know, if we've been here before, when the sirens start, it's like, I also live in New York City, so it's inevitable, but they only really come around when there's a message. The sirens only really come around when the guides are like, you really gotta listen. Because sometimes I'm looking at the street, it's completely empty, and the sirens, why are the sirens on? It's not necessary. But so this may be a really important message for you to hear. This is a time to work on a subconscious, which makes so much sense because we're in Leo season. Again, this is the season of the self, season of the sun. And so with this sun energy, this summer solstice energy, this Lionsgate energy, what is the sun illuminating for you? Please be paying attention to your dreams right now. because the dreams also serve as avenues of information. Remember how I was saying, like, our lives serve as like portals of information, what we need to know in order to move forward, what we need to know in terms of work that we need to do with ourselves. Lots of that subconscious information is popping up in our dreams. A lot of us dream and we wake up and we're like, no, that didn't make sense, so whatever. No, think deep. Exchange the faces and voices and scenarios with like things that are actually pertain to you, and they'll start to make a lot more sense than they do in your waking hours. But this is a time to really set strong boundaries, especially with ourselves. I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear that right now, but I'm not here to I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. And that is for sure something that y'all need to hear, is we needing to make boundaries, create boundaries with ourselves, with the parts of us that do not need to take up that much space. Sometimes when I'm doing an alignment session's still available. I'll leave a link in my description box if you want to book a one-on-one. It's more than just a reading. It's just chef's kiss, one-on-one time with me. But sometimes in my alignment sessions, what I see in doing these energy readings with people is that it's not them that's inhabiting their body. It is sometimes their shadow self, right? Which is why they're living in fear and why they're so confused. It's not their truth. Sometimes it's their shadow self. Sometimes it's their inner child that almost is like has become so enlarged and so inflamed because they're living life so afraid and so rooted in their traumas and in their subconscious that the inner child starts to wear the adult like a suit. And so we experience people like, the only person that usually comes to mind when I explain this to a client is like Donald Trump, right? That's a man baby. It's literally a man baby trying to run a country, trying to be the ruler of the world, like Pinky in the Brain trying to take over the world. That is obviously a child. And so please check in with yourself, check in with your parts. If you're not familiar with parts work, I'll leave the name of the doctor here that came up with this concept of parts work, so you can look into it. There's amazing books that you can read about this. There's trainings and certifications and all sorts of things. Parts work is very real, and it's something that we should be doing with ourselves. One of the best and most interesting ways that I have led sort of parts work for us in the spiritual sense is leading a meditation where we check in with our ego and with our spirit. I did that on Instagram back in the day. I will for sure record a meditation and put it here on YouTube. I'm going to challenge myself to do that immediately so that y'all have access to it. But leading a meditation where I guide us to check in with our ego and with our spirit. And who's driving the car of our life, because sometimes it's the fucking ego. And sometimes we're like, I don't know why my life feels so out of control. I don't know why I feel so angry or why I feel so this and that. And sometimes when we check in, the ego's at the wheel like, I'm not letting this grip go. Because if I do, my life is going to crash and burn. And I don't feel safe enough to give the wheel to my spirit. And that's all it comes down to, is feeling safe to embody our truth. There's so much more I can say about that, and I'll put that on my list of videos that I want to film as I'm starting to nurture my YouTube channel again. What does it mean to embody our truth versus allowing our ego to run our life? So many things I could say about that, but I'll leave us with that meditation first, so we can start doing the work with ourselves. But it is real shit, and it's very important work that we need to be doing now. From there, once we set the boundaries with ourselves, then we can start setting boundaries with others, because sometimes people think it's backwards. People want to set boundaries with others when they don't even have boundaries with themselves. People want to turn away family and friends because they're being disrespectful or they're doing this and they're la 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 la. And their relationship to their self is in fucking shambles. And I know I'm cursing a lot in this reading, but I feel free. Let me be. Their relationship to themselves is in shambles. Ask yourself if your relationship to yourself is in shambles, or if not, what does it need from you? What does your relationship to yourself need from you at this moment? And what kind of boundaries do you need to set? We all have a boundary or two to set with ourselves, or to release. That's a great question that we need to be asking ourselves, especially as we shift into Virgo season. The season of, again, organization and practicality and loyalty. How are you being disloyal to yourself? How are you being unloyal to yourself? How can you be more loyal to yourself by setting the boundaries that you need? Very important. Love this card and love this message for August 2024. Let's get our next message, receive our next message from the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. See what our next message is for August 2024. Okay. Oh, juicy, juicy, juicy. Okay, as y'all know, this is one of my favorite decks, or as you may know, may not know. This deck, I truly recommend. If there was any of these decks that I recommend as a beginner deck, this is the one. I still love it though. I use it all the time. The Energy Oracle cards. Because in the booklet, it's a thick booklet, thicker than all my other ones. I don't usually use the other ones, but I do use this one because it gives a reading for the reverse side of the card. And so I'm going to read them because the two cards that we got were Man Holding a Heart in reverse. Man Holding a Heart. And the World in reverse. Woo, this one gives me goosebumps. Look at this image. The World in reverse. So I'm going to read these. The World is giving me so much information right now, but we're going to read from the deck. See what the information is. Let's read the World first. Receiving the World reversed means that you've been severely limiting your view of things. You're thinking too narrowly, either in your options for action or in what you feel you deserve. You may be feeling boxed in, you think? Boxed in by old ways of doing things, not quite sure of how to expand. This card calls for you to think creatively, outside of the box you find yourself in now. In addition, you may have emotionally painted yourself into a corner, surrounded on all sides by energies such as fear, short-sightedness, limited thinking, or self-doubt. But you still have the option to let all of that go. And this card is telling you not to wait a minute longer to do so. It's time to break out, see the unlimited horizons around you, and know that the world is waiting for you to take center stage. So one of the reasons that I like to read from this card in particular, because it's usually towards the end of the reading, and I want you to see that this is real information that's coming through. I'm not just, some readers be lying. I'm going to tell you that. I'm gonna just say it like that. Some readers be lying. They just be making up messages. I just told you what I received with this card. And then we received this one, and I didn't tell you with the information that I was intuiting at all. This is coming straight from the booklet, and look at how much it matches with the message. So just trying to show my proof, okay? The World. Being too boxed in, needing to set better boundaries with yourself, with the parts of you that do not need to take up as much room as they are taking up. Some of y'all have become so comfortable with these parts of you that you think they're you. You are existing as a shadow version of you, and you're not even receiving the full, like your full experience of the earth, of like your human experience is so limited. And I want you to pay attention to how you experience that in conversations with people. As you look at the world, you see people who are like super passionate about something, about a cause, about something that they do, a way that they are. And some of you may look at them like, they're weird. Some of you are very judgmental. Some of you have conversations with folks and you just look at them like, how could they be this way? How could they experience the world in this way? And are also, again, very judgmental. That judgment holds information. It holds so much information. Let it be. Everything is holding up a mirror to you right now. Let's say it like that. Everything is holding up a mirror to you right now. And you are choosing to look the other way. You can choose to look the other way, but it's still going to be there. And if you're somebody who is feeling haunted by a dark cloud, it's because you're turning your face the other way from the information that is right in front of you. The assignment that you're waiting for is right in front of you. Right in front of you. And if you're like, I'm looking, but I don't see it, there's something that you're not doing. There's something that you're not doing. Check on your boundaries. Check on your boundaries and how you're using or not using your magic, your alchemy. Okay? Because if your world is flipped upside down, like we received this card, that's why. The disharmony is you. The disharmony is you. Okay? I do want to give the flip reading of this card for many people. Because some of us are on the other side of the spectrum, right? Where we've already recognized this for ourselves. I'm one of those people. I've already been working on my disharmonies. I've already been resetting boundaries and witnessing myself as an alchemist in many new ways, right? And so we're in this space where the world sort of does feel like this, but we're okay with it. And so that's the difference, right? Between being like this and not knowing why, and not being okay with it, not having that acceptance, and being like this because you're doing the work to have the acceptance so that things start to flip its way around. I hope I'm making sense, because I know I'd be getting prophetic, but it's who I am. It's who I am as a sacred artist, and it's the way that I'm receiving the information. Let's read the next one. Man holding a heart. Homeboy holding a heart in reverse. Man holding a heart. When this card is reversed, it could indicate a disconnection or even total shutdown regarding your emotional life. It's time to open up and know that you can handle deep emotions and the energy they bring up. Whether it's anger, grief, or utter bliss, you can be comfortable in their experience and in their expression. I'm going to stop right there. I'm just going to stop right there. There's another paragraph. It doesn't seem like it pertains or that it's important. Hello. Do you see? Do you understand? Do you see and do you understand what is happening here? Again, speaking about acceptance. And I love that it's a man holding a heart, because it speaks to our masculine energy. Sometimes our disharmonies are caused by an imbalance between the masculine and feminine energies. I've seen that a lot in my readings recently, actually. Lots of men and women. I've been reading men lately, and it's been amazing. So bring me the men in your life. All gender expressions welcome. But I've been seeing a lot of disharmony in people's lives because of the imbalances between their masculine and feminine energies. Feminine energy being the beer, right? And the masculine energy being the doer. Lots of us are doing way too much, or we want to so badly make sense of the energies in our life that we don't allow the feminine energy in our life to flow, or allow the feminine parts of us to express itself through our life. And so we stay in this very masculine rigidity. Not allowing ourselves to flow in the feminine ways that we need to for our lives to change. Like, so many people are asking for their lives to change, asking and waiting, and things just feel bad because there's an imbalance here. There's so many parts of us that are not allowing us to be here. Check in with yourself, please. This is not a time to abandon your relationship with yourself. This is not a time to abandon your relationship with yourself. I know that there's a lot going on in the world. Trust me. I know that there's a lot going on in the world. I'm not ever in my entire existence on this planet or any other planet, or I'm never gonna be one of those people that's just like, be with the love and light, be with yourself, well, we do need to balance our time with the world and the way that we advocate for others, and we need to balance that with ourselves. Otherwise, the journey is not sustainable. I feel like I talk about this in every reading, but it's very true. And we're always being called back to ourselves, because as we change, the world changes. The world is not going to change unless we fucking change. And some of y'all don't get that. So many people are like, abandoning themselves in service of the world. And like, you're not serving shit. You're not serving shit. If you abandon yourself, you're not. Sorry to tell you, as much as you want to be the selfless whatever in honor and service, and I'm talking to past versions of myself too. I'm finally in a season of my life where I understand I cannot be in service to the collective, and if I'm not in service to myself, which is why I'm in a season of retreating and taking care of my sacred artistry, myself as an artist, myself as a sacred being, and honoring all the information that I'm receiving, not just the bits and pieces I want to hear, but all the information and how it's serving me and how it's going to allow me to serve the collective in much bigger and more potent ways, because the world is shifting in a way where we're going to need bigger and more potent. People are we're desensitized. We are super desensitized. And so if there are parts of your life that are calling you and you're like, this is scary, it's because you need bigger and badder and more potent. You need that. You can't be asking for big life changes and not say yes to the big life changes that show up for you. And I say that with the utmost love. I know I may sound a little pushy right now, but I'm saying it with love. I promise you. So much love. So much love. Because I so wish that somebody would have told that to me 10 years ago. So I'm saying it to you now. Let's pull from our last deck. This is the Infinite Wisdom of the Chakras deck by Alison De Nicola, art by Dira Lawrence. It's a beautiful deck, my newest deck. Let's see what the final message is for the end of August, beginning of September. This very potent and important time in our history, in our lifetime. What do we need to know? Wow, okay. Our final card is the Water Goddess in the flow. Our true nature embodies the ebb and flow of life's pleasures. Talk about a closing card, and talk about affirming this notion of balancing the feminine and masculine. This is the goal, okay? This is the goal. I know this is very like celestial and light and beautiful, and like this doesn't make a lot of sense for many of us in our lives. Doesn't really even make sense for me as the horn honks outside my window for what's going to be the 50th time today. I'm recording this in the morning. Like, I feel like this inside, and I have to do the most that I can possibly do to feel like this inside so that I can live in a concrete jungle, so that I can exist in the parameters that are set up for me, and the parameters that I'm setting up for myself in order for me to live this very sustainable life of healing. I have to do the most that I can to feel like this as I'm dealing with this. And so I say all this to say that you can do the same. I'm not special. We have to be doing this work. We have to be doing this work to get in touch with the feminine expression within us. I want you to also pay attention to your body. I've been talking a lot about the trusting the wisdom of your mind, body, and spirit. When there's a feminine imbalance, feminine energy imbalance, we'll usually feel that on our left side of our body. And so check in with yourself. Where are your injuries? Where are your disharmonies in your body? Where do you experience the most pain? You can even smell yourself. Smell your armpits. Where do you get the most stink? We all stink a little bit. So it's okay. It's normal. It's normal. It means we're healthy. But where do you feel like you might smell a little bit more? If it's the left side, that points towards a feminine imbalance. And it won't always happen that way, but it's a way that we can pay attention to what's happening. What is our body asking of us right now? And so this is I'm so glad that I did this reading. So thank you to those of you who asked, who emailed me, who sent messages through YouTube. I truly appreciate the push, because I really wasn't going to do this month. I really am allowing myself to be in this energy and in this energy and in this energy and in this energy. And I'm really glad that I did this, though. I'm really glad that I got to offer this reading to us, because it feels like a really important fucking time. It really does. For us to be shifting out of an individual centered, egotistical, no, this is where I want to stay type of energy and mindset, into, okay, I really have to do this, not just for myself, but for the world. I can't no longer say no to myself. I can no longer allow my ego to inhabit my body. I can no longer let my shadow live my life for me. I can no longer let fear live my life for me. Yes, it's fucking terrifying to stare fear in the face, to stare my ego in the face and go the other way, to do the unthinkable, whatever that may be for you, to make decisions that may not make sense to my family and friends and my coworkers and my bosses or whatever, and to go in another direction. But it feels good to my soul and it feels good to my spirit, and so I am committed to saying yes. I'm committed to pivoting in the ways that the universe is asking me to pivot. And I'm committed to assuring myself and affirming to myself that I am safe. I am safe to set and remove boundaries. I'm safe to inhibit. I'm safe to not inhibit. I'm safe to live uninhibited. I'm safe to set boundaries with myself. I'm safe to remove boundaries with the parts of me that have been hidden away. I'm safe to allow the feminine expression in me express itself loudly and proudly, to show me the way, to let the tools and the resources that live within me show me the way. I'm safe to look at the disharmonies, to look at them, to pay attention to them, to bear witness to my disharmonies, to my fears, to my shadows. I am safe to work with them. I am safe to work with them. Remember, these showed up upside down. I am safe to work with them. I'm safe to take the world off my shoulders and look at it and examine why it showed up there for the first place. I'm safe to work with the masculine energies in my life, to let it not grab hold of my heart anymore, to let my heart exist as it needs to in this moment. I can keep going, but I won't. Because I want you to go off. Please journal what is coming up for you. That's your homework after you leave this reading. Please journal what is coming up for you as you have received this reading. I want to thank you so deeply for tuning into this today, especially if it's your first time here. If it's your first time here, please drop a comment below. Let me know in the comments what this brought up for you. What season of your life are you in now? And what season of your life are you working towards in the next 6 months? I am so... my God, I'm so excited. I really am. I know that there's so much that we're on the precipice of, and I'm just trying my best to do the best that I can do to continue to guide us and re-listen, because I know that I'm only just one of the many voices who are meant to do this. I know that I'm not for everybody, excuse me, but I'm for you if you're watching this, and I hope that you continue to tune in and receive guidance in this way if it aligns with you. If not, I totally understand, but please find the voices and the guides that do align with you, because it's what we're here for. And many of us do work with integrity, and many of us do lead in ways that are not rooted in capitalistic mindsets. Many of us are really doing this work for real, and it's just so exciting to think of being in service to a new earth in this way. So thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. Tune in for the next reading in a couple of weeks for September, to see what September truly has in store for us as we shift into Virgo season and then shift into Libra season. I love you.